In some types of percentage increase and decrease problems, instead of saying something's increased by 25% or it's decreased by 14%, what you'll be given are the ending and the starting values. And from those two values, you'll be asked to determine what the percentage increase or decrease is. So for those types of problems, whether it's a percentage increase or decrease, use the same formula. It's found by taking the absolute value of the ending value minus the starting value, all divided by the starting value. So let's talk about absolute value just for a brief second. So let's say I'm going to take the absolute value of 4. The absolute value of 4 is just simply 4. Or the absolute value of -4 is 4. The absolute value of a positive number is just that same positive number, and the absolute value of a negative number is that same number but positive. So that's really all that absolute value is. It says whatever that number is inside that absolute value sign, just make the number positive. So let's go back here. Percentage increase or percentage decrease equals the absolute value of the ending value minus the starting value, all divided by the starting value. Now I like to write this as the absolute value. Instead of writing ending value, I just like to make an E, and that's subtracted by the starting value, or S, divided by the starting value, or S. Okay. Now let's look at example 10.4. This is dealing with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. What it states is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or the DJIA, is one of the most commonly used indicators of the overall state of the stock market in the United States. As of writing of this material, the Dow Jones Industrial Average hovered around 13,000. We are going to illustrate the ups and downs of the Dow Jones Industrial Average with fictitious numbers. So let's say on day 1, on a particular day, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at 12,875. On day 2, the stock market has a good day, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average closes at 13,029 and 0.50. What we're asked to do is find the percentage increase from day 1 to day 2. Now, just looking at these numbers, percentage increase from day 1 to day 2, we can tell that we had 12,875, and then that number got bigger on the second day. So we know that we're dealing with a percentage increase and not a percentage decrease. So since the number is getting bigger from day 1 to day 2, we're dealing with a percentage increase. So what I'm going to use is just write down this formula. The percentage increase equals the absolute value of the ending value minus the starting value all over the starting value, which is right here. Then we're just going to go ahead and define our variables. E is the ending value. This is the ending value. That's what you ended up with on day 2, which is 13,029 points and 50.5. Okay, and then the starting value is what we started with. That's S right here. S equals 12,875. So we're just going to input these values in for the variables in the formula. So we have the percentage increase equals, I'm just going to write the absolute value of the ending value this is the same thing as E, so I'm just substituting this for the E, minus the S, the starting value, which is, and that's all over the starting value, 12,875. That's the absolute value. So now in this problem, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify the top part of the fraction, or the numerator. So I'm going to rewrite my absolute value. What this ends up being is 154.5 divided by 12,875. When I do this division, what I end up with is the absolute value, 154.5 divided by 12,875, ends up being 0.012. Then I just take the absolute value of this number, and it's already positive, so I really am just going to rewrite that same number, 0.012. And this is what our percent increase is in the form of a decimal. So the last thing we have to do is just convert this percent increase into this decimal into a percentage. So we're going to move it over 2 places to the right, and our percent increase equals 1.2%. The nice thing about this formula is once you go through the formula and you figure it out, it actually gives you the percent increase. This is a very straightforward. This answer is the percent increase in the form of a decimal. So you just need to convert it to a percentage, and then you'll have the answer.